Hey, it's another episode here of In Case You're Wondering. I'm excited to have a really good friend of mine on this week. His name is Jeff. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Jordan. How are you?
Good. Let's get a couple questions so the listeners know who you are a bit. Jeff, how old are you?
26.
And what do you do for a living?
High school math teacher.
Wow. On a scale of 9 to 10, how exciting is that every day?
A scale of 9 to 10?
Yeah.
Which one's bad? I'm going to say every day has the potential to be a 10, but usually lives at a 9.
Wow, that seems exciting.
It's thrilling.
Yeah. So, how long is your commute?
It's about 55 minutes.
Wow. You're a brave soul for doing that.
Yes.
So this week we got a couple things planned for you. Jeff and I are going to go back and forth in conversation about just different things we think about, things that make us mad, and we might get into some music as well. So we'll see how this goes.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So Jeff, what is something that you think about, and it's not usually like a common thought that other people have, or it's something that you go, I wonder if other people have thought about this.
So we're just thinking about this, and something my wife and I talk about a lot is we wonder what our dog is thinking. And I'm sure other people think that, but I'm really curious what my dog thinks about me. Like, does he actually care about me, or am I just like the food dispensing, take me outside,
Rub my belly.
yeah, butler,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. So I think you have an interesting relationship with your dog because you married into that.
Yeah, it's my stepdog.
So it's like as if you have to impress. It's like impressing a brother, or it's like impressing a stepson.
Yeah,
is what it is.
You gotta earn his respect.
You gotta earn his respect.
He doesn't call me dad. He calls me Jeff.
Because Jeff, I need food. Right?
Yeah, right now.
It is interesting to know. Like, I think dogs in particular, cats are like the worst. So I don't even consider cats
They're
animals.
basically the enemy.
Yeah. I think dogs like think of you a certain way and then they forget about it, right? So like, I can get really upset at my dog and he will obviously be in fear of me, but then like 2 minutes later, he wants to like play with me.
Such a short memory, because my wife will get really concerned or upset with me if I discipline him, like maybe too harshly, but I'm like, in 45 seconds he's gonna forget that this ever happened because I'm gonna feed him and he's gonna be thrilled with me.
He's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that I really like about dogs is my wife doesn't go to the door and jump up and down when I get home.
Your dog does.
My dog leaps in the air.
Literally does. He just did for me.
He just did it for you when you got here.
Yeah.
That's what makes me excited about a dog, and that's why I think dogs really like us.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how I can sleep at night, knowing that my dog jumps every day from when I get home from work, and it's a great feeling. Yeah,
my dog, when we get home, he'll come in and he'll run into the bedroom and he'll jump on the bed and he'll do this thing where he wraps his two front paws around my hand as I'm petting him.
Yeah,
like holds it there, like like on for dear life, and it's adorable and a little bit intrusive at the same time.
It is.
Like I feel like I have the right to not pet you anymore. If you let me.
Hold that right. So this is something that I wonder about. It's a question that kind of plagues me at times. Pretty much every day when I let my dog out. And you might know the answer to this, but I often think of, why does my dog have to make eye contact with me while he poops?
I don't know, but it's always the look of like, I don't know, just sadness. It feels like, or like a little bit of shame is what I see in him.
It's like 2 parts shame, 3 parts sadness, and like 4 parts mystery.
Yeah,
you know, like. But the thing is I can't.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't not look.
Yeah, because then you feel rude.
Yeah. It's a very weird situation.
But it is. It's locking eyes with you. Like, it would be so bizarre if that happened with people. Like, if you left the bathroom door open and you just looked at each other.
Can you? Oh my goodness! Can you imagine? And like, but you don't say anything.
Yeah,
it's not like when Bo's pooping. I'm just like, "Good job, Bo," or "Hurry up, Bo." Like it's just there's no communication. It's just all
eye contact.
Eye contact, and he without a doubt, if I'm with him or if I'm near him when he's going to the bathroom, but he doesn't do it when he pees.
No,
when he pees, he's just looking around.
Looking around. Yeah, otherwise distracted, but. When he's pooping, he stares at me as if it's my fault that he has to do it.
Like, you did this to me.
Like a pregnant woman. Yeah. Get it out.
Wow, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, it's seriously, he stares into my soul. Like, it's terrifying a little bit.
So I'm going to bring us to something completely different. Because my wife and I have been battling about this. Because I think about this all the time, and she thinks she has this great answer. I'm not too sold on it, so I want your thoughts on this. You know when the mirror on the passenger side window, or side of the car, what does it say at the bottom of it?
Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear. Or something like that.
Why don't all the other mirrors in your car say that?
Maybe they are as close as they appear.
Well, so... I guess my question is, why is that one the special mirror?
I feel like it's the angle that it goes at, you know. So because in my experience, it's definitely true. Where I'm looking out there, and then I do the check over your shoulder, and you're like, that is. It looks like it's 100 yards behind me, but it's actually like in my blind spot.
Yeah,
it's right next to me. So I wonder if it's the angle that you look at it versus
the angle
where the car's at.
She's come up with like a similar thing. But my argument is the other mirrors are angled too. You know?
It's true.
So depending on the angle of the mirror, it could say objects in the mirror might be further away
than they appear.
Like if you look at it in a certain angle, you know? So for me, like I proposed to her that we put that on all the mirrors, including like house mirrors.
Just have a message at the bottom of your house where you may be fatter than you appear.
Keep shedding those paths.
That's not an accurate depiction of what you really look like right now.
But I mean, for me, it's been one of those lifelong. I think about that every time I look over. I'm like, why don't the other mirrors?
Or is that mirror? I've never looked at it, but I wonder if that one's like convex. You know what I mean? Or concave, whereas the other ones are maybe just straight. I wonder if that maybe has something to do. I should go look at my car when I leave.
But that leads me to my next question: is if they do it with that one, why don't they do it with the other ones? Or why, just why?
I wonder if that. Let's just go with the premise that it's concave and that's why it does. I wonder if it's because you're looking at it at the angle. So in order to get what's behind you. I wonder if that one's the only one that really needs to be concave because the other ones are looking straight behind you. Your driver's side can look straight back, and your rear view can look straight back. But that one has to be angled so that you can see. The
rear view mirror has baffled me since my birth.
Yeah.
Right. So you get that thing you flick.
Yeah.
What is happening to that mirror?
So I think I've learned it. I think it's for nighttime, but it
is for nighttime.
Where it does the.
What is the thing doing though?
I think it moves it so you're basically looking at the reflection on the roof or something like that. Like you're looking, it moves the mirror up a little bit, so that it's like basically facing the roof.
But why can't I just move the whole piece?
I think you could, but this is like the exact right amount.
The car is
from
like
if you
preloaded.
just flip, all you need to do is flip a switch and you do it.
The worst is when I go to flip it and I go too aggressive and it moves the whole mirror all out of whack, and I'm thrown off. I gotta then readjust it and then flip it again.
I always my worst is when I forget that it's like that for whatever reason, or it's like that by accident, and I'm like, why?
Why can I see
Why is outside look so weird right now? It doesn't look like I'm facing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we had that conversation because that's baffled me. I always thought this is what I thought it was. I thought it was two different mirrors. You flick off one mirror and then another mirror somehow adjusts down or up or something.
Like a shade that comes down over it.
Shows you what very little I understand.
Well, I'm definitely going to check to see if that mirror is is concave when I go out
You
there.
you should text me when you figure
I'm
that
going to
out.
find out.
So we're gonna now we're gonna move on to probably my favorite part of this podcast because you know me well enough to know I just like to complain about things.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Yeah, that's two of us like to complain about things. So this part is where we just talk about things that piss us off in life, but it really, in the grand scheme of things, shouldn't piss us off. So you got a couple things for me?
I'll stay in the car when I think I've told you about this. One of my biggest things is when people don't use their directional, and maybe that is a reasonable thing. I feel like that's reasonable because of safety stuff.
Safety
But
is sexy.
It is, and non-safety is ugly.
Very unattractive.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where everybody in the world knows that you're turning. Because you're braking, or you're in the lane or whatever. But it's just, especially if I'm coming one way and I'm looking to turn or something like that, or I'm going to pull out. Yeah. That's the biggest one. So I'm going to pull out, and you look like you're going to turn, but you don't have your directional on. Like if they're going to turn, I'm trying to go left. Yeah. And they're going to turn right by me, and they're braking, and it looks like they might turn, but you don't want to go out. Yeah. And then you miss an opportunity because you only had that window while they were braking, and then somebody's coming from the right side, and then you have to sit there for longer, and it infuriates me. Yeah,
I can see your you get veins popping out of your forehead. I think for me, if I were to stay in the car on this one, I tweeted this out a while ago, but it still remains true. It rings true in my life. Nothing to me on the road is more stressful than approaching a four-way intersection with stop signs, and you have three other cars approaching at the same time. Yeah. Because what happens is everyone blanks on the rules of the road, right? Like, yep. You show up and you gotta go straight, but a guy's taking a right, and you're just like, I'll just let the guy go. But then he waves you on. But then there's a guy who wants to go straight the other way. Yeah. It's mass chaos. So this is what I've done to counteract this. I will literally come to almost a complete stop about, 20, 30 feet from the stop sign and let three people duel it out. And then as they're completing their duel, I'll come to the stop sign pretty much on my own. I got a clear cut. Like, I would rather come to a complete stop.
And give him the space. Just let them duke it out, and then you come in and you take over the...
I know for a fact that they're stressed out by it as well. I can't be the only one who's stressed out about coming to a four-way. See, with the stoplight, it's different. They figure it out for you.
Well, on the same idea, what infuriates me is when people have the right of way, but then they don't take the right. I'm like, bro, I'm yielding to you. I'm stopped. You could have just kept going. Yeah. But you're gonna stop and wave me on, and now I'm like, well, do I go? And you're waving, and then I do the thing where you nudge out, and then they start to go again, and you're just like, I'm gonna lose my mind on you. Yeah.
I have a situation where if you drive in front of the school that I work at, you would come to that end of the part of the driveway and have to take a left to go out. You don't have a stop sign because if you were to take a left, you keep going down a longer driveway, which eventually brings you to the main road. But every day when I get out of school, I park behind the school, so I come out from behind the school, and I'm coming to converge at that little spot, and I have a stop sign to let those people take that left. Every single time I come across somebody, a parent, another faculty member, no students because it's middle school, although I'm sure that has happened before. Yeah. Where they stop there and they don't have a stop sign. Yeah. And I do. And I used to just blow through the stop sign. Yeah. You know what I do now? I put my car in park. I'm not leaving. I am not leaving this stop sign until you do the right thing, which is to go. And it's especially when it's a coworker.
You never stop teaching, do you?
No. Shaping the minds of America.
That's what you do. I am insisting that you learn how to drive.
But it seems like a simple thing. Like, if I pull up to something, I'm like, oh, there's no stop sign. I'm not stopping. I mean, even if I pull up to a stop sign, chances are I'm just rolling through it anyway. But especially if there's no stop sign, I'm just going to go. Because the stop sign is very clear for everybody to see. Yeah. I have one. Yeah. And it's very irritating.
I'm with you.
What else you got for me? Anything?
I can go, we'll stick with school. School. So this is something that happens all the time where I have juniors and seniors in high school this year, this year that's finishing up. And so most of them drive themselves to school. Mm-hmm. And the first period of the day is obviously a challenge to get them there. Even though we start at like 8 o'clock and they're dumbfounded at how early this is. I'm like, 8 o'clock.
My first class starts at 7:30.
Yeah, and other schools are 7:15 or earlier, and these kids complain that we start at 8. I'm like, you don't know how good you have it. But what infuriates me the most is when they show up to first period class like 5 minutes late with Dunkin' Donuts. That's like, you would have been here on time if not for your stupid Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah. Or the worst is when it's like 15 or 20 minutes late with Dunkin' Donuts, because you're like, you knew you were late. Yeah. You weren't even close to on time, and then you still took the time to get Dunkin' Donuts.
But let me just
you're gonna battle back,
because I'm that guy.
You're that.
In fact, this is a good story. I haven't told you this. Okay, so I am that guy. So I had like 5 minutes to go until I got to punch in for work, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts right down the road from where I work. Mm-hmm. And it takes literally like a minute and a half to get from Dunkin' Donuts to my parking spot at work. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, there's a ton of cars in the drive-thru. I'm just gonna go in real quick, and I'm gonna get my one drink. That's all I needed. I get there, and I quickly realized I made a fatal mistake.
Horrible mistake.
Yeah. This lady orders like 8 drinks in front of me. Okay. And of course, when you're ordering for other people, you have to like read off of something, or you have to like remember it. She tried the remembering technique, which always goes wrong.
Devastating.
As a math teacher, you'll appreciate this next part. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was right in math, which is very, very rare. So she says, I'll take 20 munchkins. Mm-hmm. And I was instantly perplexed because they offer a box of 25 munchkins for less money. So what they're going to do is they're going to charge you individually 20 munchkins, which would come out to more than a box of 25. So I said to her, thinking I'd be nice, which is a mistake before, at 6:55 in the morning.
Yeah, don't talk to strangers in the morning.
Yeah. I said, it is cheaper if you just buy 25 munchkins. Mm-hmm. She turns around, she goes, how does that make sense? I was like, well, and I explained the whole thing to her. Yeah. Exactly what I just told you. Mm-hmm. I said, they're going to charge you individually for 20 munchkins, and that's just going to be more than the deal they give you for 25 box munchkins. And she's like, I think you're wrong. And because it's 6:55 in the morning, I had an outburst, and I went, I just don't think you understand this concept. That's what I think the problem is.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Brutal.
But hey, 6:55 in the morning, I was late. I ended up being like 5 minutes late for work. And I had that feeling of like, everyone knows I'm late, but they see that I have Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, so I don't ever really I'm not a coffee drinker, but my wife gets coffee, and we drive together to work every now and then, so we'll swing in to get coffee. And at least this woman who was ordering for 8 people went inside. There should be there should be a limit on the drive-through. There should be a big sign that says you can order for no more than 2 people in a drive-through or something like that. Because if you're ordering for a gang, they got to do the whole thing.
Squad.
It's a squad.
What other words?
But I don't know. Gaggle.
A gaggle, yeah.
A horde.
Yeah.
Basically a pride.
I would say posse, but that's been bad in the news recently.
Yeah, not the way to go. No. But it's just, and the other thing is with the drive-thru in the morning is they put the A team on the drive-thru.
A school of people. Sorry.
No, they put the A team on the drive-thru. They put the people.
A pack? Did you get pack?
I'm not even gonna finish.
So they do. Here's the thing: they do put the A team on the drive-thru,
and it's the schmucks that are on the inside line because they're like, these people have all the time in the world. And you're like, I had somebody who was basically the worst employee ever trying to figure out the person in front of me's order. Just couldn't comprehend what was happening.
Was it a male or a female?
It was a female. It was a like 55-year-old woman who definitely should have.
Maybe they transferred her mind, because I'm at the point with this woman at Dunkin' Donuts where if I see her working, I walk out. I do.
You have just lost my business.
She has never, ever gotten my coffee right, ever.
Yeah.
You know what I take? I take a large French vanilla iced coffee.
Yeah.
With 2 cream and caramel swirl.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
I feel like
That's not the most complicated order. In the
no,
world.
it's definitely not, and it's just one coffee every
Yeah.
time. Like, come on, lady,
Can't figure it out.
She can't figure it out, and that bothers me.
Yeah, it's infuriating.
So you get mad at your students when they go to Dunkin' Donuts when they're late.
So I made a deal with a couple of years ago when I didn't care what I ate at all. I made a deal with them that if they showed up late with Dunkin' Donuts without something for me, like a donut for me,
Yeah.
then I would. So we have 3 markings. They have tardy, they have a single absence, or they have a block absence because and it's all about the points or whatever. So I was like, if you show up late without a donut for me, I'm going to change your tardy to an absent.
Ooh.
So that's like 4 times as many absent points, and if you get a certain amount, then you fail. But if you show up with a donut from me, I'll look the other way at your tardy.
Ooh, you could be bought off.
Yeah, I could, and it worked.
Yeah.
For that first year, and then I stopped with the deal because I didn't want to. Because I started eating like basically a donut every day because the kids were showing up late every day.
They would rather pay for a donut.
Yeah, it wasn't good for me for my health.
So my mindset in that is like, if I'm already late, like I might as well just be late. Just embrace it.
Embrace the late.
Then I don't feel rushed anymore.
Yeah.
Once I know I'm going to be late, I'm like, well, I can't turn back
Steer
time.
into the skid. Yeah.
It's like whatever, I move on from it.
I get that.
So, anything else really
I'm sure there are other things.
piss you off that you want to bring to the table?
So I'll stick with the students thing because this is the one where it gets me every time. Where kids come in when they were absent, and they ask this question all the time. Did I miss anything?
Did I miss it? Yeah.
No, we just sat here and cried about the fact that you weren't here with us. Like we
mourned.
couldn't function.
We did a day of fasting.
We fasted for math because you weren't here.
Yeah.
It's just like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Or are we doing anything today? Like, no, we're just gonna sit here and stare at you. Like they come in at the beginning of class. Are we doing anything
today?
What?
It's
What
school.
have we done?
Yeah.
All year, like.
You have 180 days of work. Okay, you might sprinkle in a few field trips.
Yeah.
Might sprinkle in a movie. Mm-hmm. Although math, I feel like is really hard.
Yeah, I definitely picked the wrong. There's no such thing as a field trip or a movie day for math. I should have gone the English route because you read a book and then you watch the movie on the book. Or you go the history route, you go to a museum or science. Our science teachers take them to Canopy Lake Park every year to do the physics of the roller coasters.
You honestly can't find anything.
I mean, I've thought long and hard, and I probably could, but it would be a stretch. I'd be stretching it.
Take them to a baseball game and just teach them about
Statistics. I should. We'll do Moneyball from behind the.
Nice.
We could go to the Fisher Cascade,
Or
but
take them to Vegas.
Oh, that's
gamble.
Well, we do like I call them in-school field trips where we're basically we'll play with my statistics class. We'll play craps or we'll do poker and we'll talk about the statistics of different things and whether you blackjack and things like that. But even then, they complain about it. It doesn't matter what it is. Like we went outside and we played bocce, and all I asked them to do was keep score, guys versus girls. Then we came inside and we did some math on who was better at bocce, guys or girls. And they were complaining while we were out there. It's too hot. It's whatever. I'm like, you
Kids
shut
these
your
days.
mouth. You shut your mouth.
Here we are complaining about kids complaining.
That's true.
So this next segment is about music, and it's everyone does this. In this segment, we're going to talk about misheard lyrics. There are pretty much, for me, it's any Elton Joel song.
Elton Joel. You just combine the two guys.
My two boys.
Your two boys.
I'm sure we'll edit that out. For me, it's Elton John.
Yeah.
I will mess up Elton John songs 99% of the time. Like,
it's all the same. That's all he sounds like.
all I know in the song Benny and the Jets is Benny and the Jets. Benny! That's it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And then I mishear all of it.
Oh, because the version, it's like all it sounds like to me. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So you brought one up to me that I think is really good.
Seriously, it's all I hear when I hear the song. Even though I just looked up the lyrics, I still. So in "Sexy Back" by Justin Timberlake, I think it's the bridge or the chorus, but the real lyric is "Get your sexy on," but all I hear is, "Who's your sexy cow?" So it's don't whatever is don't have you don't really- who's your sexy cow?
Yeah. So it's the guy in the back.
Yeah, it's just like it's all I
Who's your
hear.
sexy cow?
I'm convinced that that's what the actual lyrics are, and they're passing it off as "Get your sexy on."
See, unfortunately, you fall into my life motto of you hear what you want to hear.
That's true.
So
I do.
I'm concerned about you, John.
Well, I mean, I would be concerned about Justin Timberlake thinking that he's a sexy cow.
Who's your sexy cow?
Like, that seems like a really strange bedroom conversation to have.
Really?
I don't know. Like, who's your sexy police officer is a common one, but, like...
Common one?
Are you dressing up like a cow?
Yeah.
A cow costume?
So for you, it's Who's Your Sexy Cow with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Sexy back. Mm-hmm. This isn't a misheard lyric, but this is a, what do you say? A music theory that I have.
Okay.
Okay? You know the song Africa by Toto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And take the rain down in Africa.
Absolutely. Just like that. Yeah.
Nailed it.
I was mowing the lawn the other day, and I'm listening to it, just jamming out, and it dawned on me.
That's the perfect song for when you're mowing the lawn, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It dawned on me that I believe that Africa inspired the storyline of Lion King.
Okay. Show your work.
'Kay.
I'm willing to hear this out.
So the part where he says, so the first part he's arriving, I guess, in Africa or whatever. He says, I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some long-forgotten words or ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say, hurry, boy, it's waiting there for you. You know what that is?
Is that Rafiki?
That's Rafiki right there, okay?
Okay.
And then, of course, it's going to take a lot to take me away from you.
Yeah.
That's his kingship.
Yeah.
Right? He's fighting it. It's going to take a lot to get away from that. It rains in the movie during that fight scene with the hyenas and Scar. Mm-hmm. So that's blessing the rains. Okay. The wild dogs crowd in the night as they grow restless, longing for some solitary company.
Whoa.
Yeah, the hyenas,
Yeah,
right?
for real.
For real. I know that I must do what's right, as sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. That is
Pride Rock.
that's Pride Rock. But that's Simba.
Yeah.
Saying to himself, because he runs away from it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he knows he has to do what's right. Mm-hmm. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become. Is that not Simba or what?
Uh-huh.
He's
He's
frightened.
frightened. Oh, yeah. He's frightened of who he becomes.
So...
I hear it. Here's the final test, though.
Oh, wait. Hurry, boy. She's waiting there for you, Nala.
Nala. Well, Nala didn't wait there, though. Nala came to him.
Yeah, but then they had to, roll around in the grass.
You could say
Tell
that
him,
Sarabi was waiting there for him.
Ooh, I like it. Sarabi!
I love that.
Yeah.
Here's the final question, though.
Yeah.
When was Africa written?
I would imagine in the 80s.
That's what I think, too. But it would have to... That would be my final contingency. Because I know that Lion King was 94, I think.
82.
82.
Wow.
Holy cow, 12 years.
It's all lining up.
It's all lining up. I could hear that. It should have... You know what it should have done? That should have been the soundtrack for opening.
Exactly.
Screw the... Samania. It should have been... I'll take the rain down in Africa. As the sun rises. And the antelope kind of...
Yeah.
Does his antelope head thing. You know what I'm talking about?
That is my theory.
I think that is a reasonable theory.
Thank you.
There are other theories out there that I've heard
About Lion King?
about the Lion King.
Ooh. Not as good as that one.
I don't think any are as exciting as that one. I will say, or on the edge, bring you to the edge of your seat because it pretty much marries two of my favorite things in the whole universe:
Which are?
The Lion King and Africa.
Those are your two favorite things?
Two of my favorite things.
Oh.
On a list of 1,000 things. Although I will say that The Lion King is perhaps it's actually definitively my favorite movie of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
See,
and I would make an argument that it's probably should be in the top 10 of all movies ever made.
Yeah. I would say it's the best Disney movie ever made.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
That's hands down, without question. Anybody who says that Frozen is the new Lion King needs to watch The Lion King again. They're 100% wrong. Yeah. Frozen was good, but The Lion King is on another level.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to get into some headlines now. Mm-hmm. Now that I've convinced you of my theory. So
convinced is a strong word. You have tickled my interest. I'm going to do some more research as I go home, and I'm going to let you know what I think.
All right, so let's meet a buddy named John Ripple. This is a pretty sweet name, though.
Okay.
He's from Kansas City.
Yeah.
And he committed a crime.
What was his crime?
He robbed a bank.
Dang.
So he decided to rob a bank. This is what the article says. So he decided to rob a bank so that he could go to prison and no longer have to deal with his wife. Said, but thanks to the decision of the U.S. District Court judge, the plan has backfired, as he'll now have to deal with her permanently. Yes, Ripple's punishment has seen him be placed under house arrest.
That was the judge's decision?
That was the judge's decision.
That judge is my hero.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest, just the most perfect, that's justice being served.
I was going to say, when people say there is no justice in the world anymore,
absolutely.
I'm going to point to this article.
That's perfect. Because,
isn't that great?
Well, because what else would he do? Because anything else is a victory for this guy.
But, okay, think about his life, though. He would rather go to prison to not deal with his wife. I think my first question is, why don't you just move? Why don't you just, go away?
Yeah.
Just find a different place.
There's a lot of, but maybe he's afraid.
Was prison the best option?
Was his wife going to follow him wherever he went?
I don't know. It's like,
well, because I've seen television shows where people think about prison for a little bit. You're like, well, you get 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
You get time to work out and read and bed, and that just seems like the way to go. You don't have to worry about any of this kind of stuff.
I've never thought of that, but
no. Well, that's maybe one of the weird things that I think about is that prison wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Oh boy!
But then I think about it a little bit longer, and I realize that
you talk
probably
yourself
would.
out of it.
Yeah.
I think for me, this guy or the wife, I don't really know who to blame here. Mm-hmm. The wife for being crazy. I don't even know if she was. He could be crazy. You know. Here's the thing, though. I thought about this in my own life. Mm-hmm. Like today.
You thought about.
No, definitely not. Like today, my wife's been gone since 10 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't think about lunch until 2. Right? I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
For lunch, I don't know what to eat, and I ended up making myself 2 grilled cheese sandwiches.
With pepperoni.
With pepperoni.
Give yourself some credit.
Yeah,
they were deluxe grilled cheese
sandwiches. Yeah, they were. But the point is if I were to decide to run away, or just not be near my wife,
run away from home, like an infant,
take my piggy bank with me.
Yeah, seriously.
I would get about 2 feedings and realize I made a huge
feedings. This is just you're going back in time pretty heavily here.
Yeah. I'd go probably a lunch and a dinner away from just realizing I made an awful mistake.
A horrible mistake.
I just don't understand this guy.
Yeah.
And that really backfired.
Yeah.
As you are a math guy, this next one, you'll be able to figure it out, I'm sure. It says 7% of all Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows, according to the National Representative Online Survey commissioned by the Innovation Center of U.S. Dairy.
Oh, my dear.
So do you know how many millions of people that is? 7% of the U.S. population?
Was U.S. population 600 million, something like that?
Something like that.
So 7% would be 70 million?
70 million?
No, I lied to you.
Yeah,
I totally lied to you.
You did.
No. Because 60 million would be 10%.
Let's put you on the spot. Because
this is the weekend, man, the end of the school year. I'm shutting it down pretty hard. So 60 million is 10%, so you're probably looking at... well, hang on, I should figure it out. So it'd be another 18 below that, so call it 32. No, 42. There we go.
Nope.
Oh, that was a stretch.
It actually comes out to... You heard that it was 7%.
7%?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going with the hypothesis that there's 600 million Americans.
Yeah, then that's not right. I don't know how many people there are in America.
Yeah.
But it comes out to 16.4 million.
Yeah, so there's significantly less than 600 million Americans.
That's all. That'd be a ton of Americans.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 16.4 Americans are misinformed about chocolate milk. Has that ever been a thought of yours that chocolate milk comes from a brown cow?
So, no, it has never. That's 7%. That's just an astronomical.
My guess
astronomically high
is that I don't know. I don't have any argument against why that would be skewed.
Well, what about? I mean, because most cows they're white and they have brown or black spots on them, right? So, what do they think about those?
I don't know. What is that? Is that like a I don't know.
A mix, or maybe like half the udders give white milk, and half of give. No, I don't know.
I've never thought of that to be true.
No. Or because you make chocolate milk,
Like
you have
put
to,
chocolate syrup in it.
Yeah, or like you have to make chocolate milk. Like
So-
these 7% of people are not only think that, but then they've
never made chocolate
they've
milk
never made.
themselves.
They've only been given chocolate milk.
That's what I concluded out of it.
Like that's really 7% of Americans are too lazy to squirt chocolate syrup. In
They've
the
missed
milk.
out on a great childhood.
Yeah.
If they've never made
Blame the
themselves-
parents is
yeah.
really what it comes down
They
to.
never had Ovaltine. They never had Nesquik.
Ovaltine.
More Ovaltine, please. Final headline. Have you ever heard of Publix? You must have. You live down in Georgia, right?
Yeah,
They have
Publix.
them in Georgia.
Yep.
Man falls into deep fryer at Publix grocery store.
Oh,
dies.
How big of a deep fryer is this?
That was my first question.
And where was he that he falls into it?
He was working. He was cleaning it, and it still
This
was
is a
hot.
worker?
Yeah. It says, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Monsieur Blount, or Blunt, if you will, 37, was cleaning a deep fryer that was full of hot cooking oil when his leg slipped into it in June. This happened in June 2015, and it's just going to court now.
That's unbelievable.
She's suing them. The apparent accident happened at Publix store in DeLuca, Georgia.
Jeez.
He was hospitalized following the incident and died on July 4th, 2015, as a result from severe burns. Blount's wife, Chrissy Blount, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the supermarket chain, arguing that her husband was unaware of the hazard posed by the thin metal cover, which was placed over the deep fryer. I don't necessarily.
So wait, so this is deep fryer. Let's pictures deep fryer. Let's just assume that it's human, like a pretty big size deep fryer.
It fit him in there.
Yeah, so decent sized thing. He's cleaning it while it's full of hot oil.
Can you imagine if you rolled around in flour?
I'm sure it would have ended up the same way.
Too soon.
Yeah. Well, it was 2 years ago, so you got a little time. But seriously, though, like, was there a lid on it? Is that what it's saying? So there was a thin lid, and they didn't tell him that if you fall on the lid, then
it's over.
But why are you cleaning?
What are you doing?
Cleaning the outside of it while it's hot? But even still, like that to me seems
Under
like
no circumstances should you be cleaning it when it's hot.
no that. And I feel like unless. I mean, you could maybe blame Publix for it if they didn't say that, but that's like the stupid labels that you see on this, like caution, bag will get hot when heated.
Yeah.
You see that on the popcorn things, like, or do we really need to?
We shouldn't need it, but
stay aside. It's just ridiculous.
here's something I want to talk about with this, though. This one really got me thinking. Chrissy Blunt hopes Publix will pay for the, in quotes here, full value, end quote, of Blunt's life, as well as any costs related to the legal process. How much? Now the question is, how much do you think you're worth?
How much do I think I'm worth?
This is a lot of pressure on his wife, right?
Yeah,
Because
you got to put
you
a
have
value.
you have to put a value on your husband's life.
That's unbelievable. Well, so
Can you now? I guess another question to think about is: can you have an arbiter?
can you be assessed?
Can someone assess your husband's life so you don't have to make this decision?
Yeah, like a house.
Yeah.
Like a house valuing, and then maybe you go 50,000 over just to see if it's a hot market or something like that. For
fried dead.
Well, because right now it's a hot. People are paying over asking price. So I don't. Well, so I wonder if they do it as a calculation of like what income would have been, but then there's also because the full value. Because you could figure out what your income would be for carry, this is my salary for X amount of years or whatever. But I would like to think that I bring other value to the world besides just my
It seems like
salary.
a really deep moral question.
It is.
To the fullest value of this person's life, they're going to have to figure
I
out.
wonder if there should be a point system that, like, for all the things that you do in your life, you get a certain amount of points, and then those points translate to a percentage of.
Or you could just do a dollar system, right? Okay, let's say my incident at Dunkin' Donuts, I would have lost like $10 for that, right?
Yeah.
But I would have gained $5 for trying to help her.
Trying to help,
I
yeah.
ruined it, so really I'm only down $5.
Yeah.
But I've done a few other nice things in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess but that's really hard to record.
Yeah, that starts to become. I wonder if it's
Tedious.
Well, because then you got to just think about it. The full value for the wife, though, right? So I just got to think about my wife and the value that I bring to her, and there's certain things that I might do, but a lot of it she could probably, by probably I mean 100% do on her own. So I don't know how much value. I mean, really, the only value that I bring is moving heavy things around. I feel like that's the only unreplaceable value. But even that's replaceable by a different husband.
Yeah, I think about it in my relationship with my wife. I think eye candy. Like that's it for me. I'm just eye candy.
Yeah, eye candy and arm candy.
Yeah. So
trophy husband.
that was headlines. Jeff, I had a lot of fun doing this with you.
Yeah, me too, man.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Were you nervous at all?
No, I was happy.
Good.
You're my bud.
Appreciate you guys listening. Reach out to me. Give me some feedback about what things you want to talk about. Maybe you have some things that piss you off that you want me to talk about, or you want to come on. Hey, if you want to come on, just send me a message. I'll have you on. I'm down for that. So, again, thanks for listening, and have a good day.